Today, I'm going to be debunking 10 of the most common homesteading myths, and some of them might surprise you. Myth number 1 is that it's easy. Homesteading is one of the hardest things you can do in your life. The general maintenance of day-to-day homestead life is already hard, but when you add the fact that most folks starting a homestead have to build it up from the ground up, the time and energy spent add up very quickly. Barns, coops, fences, and shelters. Every building and wall to provide care for your animals and plants, you have to pay for and build yourself. But don't let this discourage you. Take the opportunity to get creative and solve the problems in front of you. The hardest things in life usually have the sweetest rewards. Myth number 2 is that it saves me money. Don't get me wrong, you can definitely build up many parts of a homestead on a budget. You can definitely find ways to cut costs, but for your average homesteader, starting out is a big investment. If you stick with it, you can definitely see a return on your investment eventually, but especially if you're counting time as money, you will never truly be saving money. But that's not really the true purpose of homesteading anyways. Homesteaders are weird. That's the third myth. Look, I grabbed you out of a bucket full of onions. I'm not weird, please don't. I'm not. Okay, I for sure know the weird homesteaders too, but most people are just your average Joe. That's Joe, by the way. Just a typical family. But even if you find yourself interacting with quote-unquote weird homesteaders, you will find honest and loyal people who will work hard and are generous with helping you. So don't judge a book by its cover. Weird is honestly better than rude. The fourth myth is that you need a lot of land. But that's just not even true. This isn't mine. This is our neighbor's. No, you really don't. Don't get me wrong, if you're trying to do small-scale farming or be fully self-sufficient, then yes, land is needed. But homesteading is more about resourcing what you can from what you have. If all you can do is grow some potatoes and garlic in a small raised bed, then start with that. The fifth myth is that you need prior experience. That's just not true. There really is no experience necessary. We came from the suburbs of central Pennsylvania and only ever had a couple cats. My mom grew some vegetables, but the closest we had ever been to homesteading was driving past the Amish. Do your research thoroughly before starting a new crop or animal, but just be ready to grow as you go. Be flexible and eager to learn, and you will find success on your homestead. Myth number 6 is that if you don't have a cow or other livestock, you're not a real homesteader. Similar to the last myth, homesteading is not defined by a certain amount of land or a certain animal. It is a mindset. It is setting small goals and working hard. It is learning about collecting your own food and where your food comes from. It is connecting you with nature and making you more grateful. If all you ever do is grow plants, you can homestead as much as anyone else. Myth number 7 is you have to enjoy the smell of manure to be a homesteader. Gross, gross, gross. You were just right there. That wasn't smart. That wasn't smart. Ugh. This might surprise you, but the smell of manure is actually not good. You should never be smelling poo on a homestead. Especially around the animals, manure should be kept away because they can get sick just like us from their poop. Compost is an easy solution, but not the only one to handle poop on a homestead. Myth number 8 is that you have to be off-grid to be a homesteader. Hey, come get the groceries. All Amish are homesteaders, but not all homesteaders are Amish. We still rely fully on electricity, cars, and are very much on-grid. You'll find most homesteaders are not against modern technology at all. Myth number 9 is that you have to be fully self-sufficient to be a homesteader. A fully self-sufficient homesteader is kind of the end goal that every homesteader dreams of, but really never reaches. In some ways, to be fully self-sufficient, we would need to be forced to. If the grid collapsed and society fell, we would be forced to be self-sufficient, and I think we could survive. But in the modern world, with a job and a family, to be self-sufficient just isn't even a possibility because of the amount of time it truly takes. Myth number 10 is that I could never be a homesteader. Listen, if you had told me 2.5 years ago that me and my family would have moved out here and started homesteading, I honestly just wouldn't have believed you. It was kind of always a dream we had, but never really a possibility. I'm here today to tell you that you really can be a homesteader. If you put in the work, you put in the time, and you just trust the process. You trust the process, it will work out. And the rewarding lifestyle that homesteading gives you, it can be yours too. If this video taught you anything or entertained you, I encourage you to like this video and subscribe. We try to post every Thursday at noon. God bless.